So I'm going to talk about the assessment we decided on. We decided on the Borg Rating a Perceived Exertion Scale, known as the Borg RPE Scale. It was developed and created by Swedish researcher Gunnar Borg, and it's a subjective scale and a subjective assessment tool used to rate basically a client's own perceived level of exertion that it takes them to complete a task or any exercise that you ask them to do. So it is a tool that it's able to capture kind of the perceived exertion from the central cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, and kind of give you, as a therapist, an understanding of a client's level of exertion and level of felt intensity of a task or exercise. So what it is, here's the scale. It's a very simple scale, thank goodness. So it's labeled, it's numbered rather, 6 to 20, 6 being very, very light, 20 being very, very hard. So basically, it's a tool. So when you administer it, it's very important to kind of educate your client on its use and how it's supposed to be used so they can kind of understand what they're rating and how they're rating it. So how you administer it after a task that they do or after an exercise that they complete, and you as a therapist just add a 0 at the end of the number that they indicate, or you times it by 10, and that gives you the perceived heart rate or beats per minute felt during that task. So in this case of Christos, he, before hospitalization, he reported that he was feeling shortness of breath and basically high levels of fatigue when just lifting groceries, when going upstairs, when completing and participating in strenuous ADL tasks. So that was before hospitalization and before the AICD implantation. And so now, as therapists and OTs, we want to kind of gain, in the evaluation of him, we want to gain an understanding of where his levels are of exertion felt in these different tasks now that he did get a procedure that's supposed to help increase his ability to perform different tasks. So basically what we did was we decided to evaluate him by having him perform a basic upper body dressing task, also while definitely implementing the different precautions that come with an AICD implantation to make sure the client is safe and not, of course, kind of making this incision worse and all that. So what we did, I was losing my thought. What we did was we had him perform, and so now that he's after surgery, he will probably have just slightly exaggerated levels of fatigue and levels of lower muscle endurance due to, just recovering from the surgery and the procedures he went through to get to this point. And being that it's the, immediate evaluation after these procedures, it's going to be a little heightened, the perceived exertion. So as OTs, we perform an ADL upper body dressing using obviously precautions, and then afterwards we administered this. So as mock assessment results, we kind of said that he would probably be feeling a 12, 13, or 14. So that's somewhat hard, as you can see. And so we said, say he felt 14. That would be basically telling us that he's at a 140 heart rate. So what do we do with that? With that information, we can have a much better understanding of what type of energy conservation strategies we need to implement, where we want to kind of what approach we want to do for therapies. And it's only here for 4 days, so we really don't have time. Time is of the essence with this. So this gives us an understanding of his level of exertion felt and how we can better improve that going forward by teaching him these different tasks, obviously by still implementing the precautions to ensure safety. And this will, by doing this and taking the rating into account, we are creating a client-centered plan. We are able to develop a treatment plan to increase his occupational performance and participation. So now we're going to go to the intervention.